I feel like there's this, when you question the police narrative and reporting, you also have to qualify that by saying that the majority of cops are good. And I really don't understand that. Like, I want to push back on something David said, that, the reason that maybe people don't know 9 cops were also didn't do anything, which Jason Van Dyke did. So, well, they were doing their job. So why should I need to report on what was not being done correctly. And even though it's a small amount of cops, I do agree with that. The police is the state, and the police have a right to kill as part of their job, and I think they need to be held to a higher standard. And I think that should be free to report. The other thing I want to say about just when reporting on cops is that, I think the question that needs to be asked is, what do we want our police to be doing? And so many of the shootings and so many of the cases we've seen on video start with jaywalking, your taillight is gone, illegally camping. What do we want our police to do? And I think those questions tie back to a lot of the way that our, inner city Chicago or in LA, these ghettos have been set up. This is structural racism at play. So are cops going to be the front lines of curing all those problems that come out of that? I think those are the questions that need to be asked, because I think putting more cops in those neighborhoods is not curing the underlying problems, which is about housing discrimination, education discrimination, public health problems. That's kind of.
Can I respond? Yeah, what I would say is I have no problem, and I don't think any police officer has a problem with pointing out that the Laquan McDonald situation at the end was handled poorly. But the meta-narrative that comes out of the intense focus on the 16 shots is not that you had one cop who screwed the pooch, but that everything is systemic, and it's Chicago, and then you draw a line from Chicago to Ferguson to here to there, and it's the cops in America are running wild, killing young black men. And that's not the true story. And so that's what I'm arguing for. And once again, I'm representing the cops that I've talked to and the people that I have friendships with, as well as my own experience. And so when you report on Laquan McDonald, have some balance that talks about, in the context of deadly force, this is a rare event.